Yeah, okay. Original sound is on.
All right. Let's see if that works. Because again, I don't think it's the actual compression that's the issue. It's, oh!
What's happened? Oh, okay. Not a big deal. Okay.
Here's just the case.
How was your week?
Just getting ready for opening week. Well, getting ready for opening week. We start tomorrow. So what were you able to do this week with everything going on? With the concert and everything?
Scales, bowings,
Okay.
and then Vance.
All right.
I pretty much hit all of it.
Okay. Did you get to try the tuning CD?
Yes.
Okay.
I could see what Elian was talking about with the hearing it like right here in the middle of your face. It was interesting.
Wait, with what in the middle of it?
It's like hearing it like in the middle of
Oh,
your face.
yeah. Scales just to check where those are at. How about you pick a flat and a sharp? Unless you want me to pick, but.
Oh, me pick?
Yeah, I was gonna say you pick.
Oh, E flat.
All right. All right, pick a sharp.
A.
All right. Right there at the top. Bend this down so you see yourself a little better. There you go. Right there at the top. Let's figure out what to do with your thumb once you get up to here, because you were doing, and you were sort of like your thumb was hanging out here. I would just let your weight go with the shift. So you're doing 1, 2. Is that weight? Mm-hmm. So be fully in thumb position. Over to and then you have to do that transition where you sort of kick the bass up a little bit, but and your thumb's in line, and then your thumb just sort of. Like that.
Okay.
So if you, otherwise, it's sort of like it's sort of half holding it, or you just want to be clear about what. Yeah, or you could even. I think mine's a little more fluid. And the thumbs to be like. The thumb does, yeah. The fingers don't. You still stay clear. Actually, so I'm actually. Oh, it's almost like it's a gliss, but I'm just not. I'm doing it fast as opposed to lifting it up. Does that make sense? So it's this sort of handoff. Yeah. The idea is that you're keeping as much contact as possible between notes, because that's actually, in a sense, your fingers are measuring it as you're doing it. If you pick up and go back down, it's almost like you just had two different islands and you hop from one to another. This is at the very least, a peninsula that's connected to the other, you know? Any of my shifts, there's connection between each. That's it, yeah. It's a small thing, but it'll come in handy as you're doing more complicated stuff, is that you always have this sense of connection from note to note. That's fine. All right, those look good. Just keep working through. What were we doing, like 3 scales a day, or what was the?
Yeah, like 3 scales a day circle. Let's just go through it.
I would just keep working through that. Are you doing it with metronome right now, or?
Yeah.
So usually quarters or eighths?
Quarters.
If you start getting comfortable, I'd just move up to eighths, or just do both. Like do quarters first and then go through eighths. See where that's at.
Okay.
And that gets comfortable. You know where it goes. Triplets come next, then sixteenths, then. We just keep sort of pushing it, and that's when some of these, like the quality of the shift starts to matter more. Is once you have to go da 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 da, you have less room for inefficiency.
And today's the 4th.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, and let's look at the McCormick. So try 8 at least.
Yeah, these string crossings were troubling.
It's like the faster you go on some of these scales, it's almost like it puts a spotlight on all your shifts. Because then that's what usually the first thing to go. Yeah. That's partly why I'm emphasizing this really clear hand position to start with. Because the idea is that once you go fast, instead of doing 12 notes in a row, you're doing groups. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you just need to connect those groups at the correct tempo. Mm-hmm. But we're just trying to block it out. So
and you don't want it to feel like separate. You want it to be one flowing.
Yeah, sort of smooth over all of them. Mm-hmm. It's like icing a cake, I guess, or I don't know. I think of something where it starts out maybe slightly different, but by the time you put a smooth shifts over it, you should be able to. What scale am I playing? But all that is pretty much it's 3. In a sense, it's like 3 notes, 3 places for me. 3 is a lot easier to think than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's 3. At some point, your muscles are going to get tired, and your hands are going to start constricting. Then you shake it out and you do something else. But that's why we tend not to do scales up and down so much. We try to do as much cross stuff. All right, show me what you got here.
How fast?
Do you want to mention one or? I can't see what you're writing.
Definition in front.
Okay.
Oh, am I doing 4 or 5?
What did you practice?
I did both.
Oh, you did both. I'll start with 4.
4.
Look at my sheet properly. We're reviewing 4 or? Oh,
yeah, I'm reviewing 4, doing 5.
Okay. very, very slight of that going on, I think. So, I'd love it if you could just lean in a little more. It's not like muscles up, but just lean. So you get a little fuller tone. I know you're playing on spiros there. Here, does that feel like much more effort? Or yeah, that'll just sort of clarify what you're doing. So now just play that note repeatedly for a second and look at your bow and make sure that it's really just going back and forth, that there's no extra angles change. That's good. Yeah. So pick up from like that. Yeah.
Hold on.
Just when you got to the G string. The other strings were great. There you go. Keep leaning in, get a little bigger sound. Yeah. There you go, nice. Keep leaning in on the low strings too.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's just a little bit of traveling going on. Yeah, and the other thing is once you get to low strings, I feel like you're lighting up again. Yeah, so what we're going for is full and resonant. It doesn't have to be, not forced, not a lot of work, but just lean in a little more and get a full sound.
Okay.
So that's the general idea. And let's look at 5. Maintain. So with Detache, and then crossing strings. Fingers, wrist, and forearm. So remember for Detache, it's still going to be more. Okay. Oh, I warned you on this one, right, that some of the fingerings get off.
Oh, okay. So it's just not right. I was like, why is that?
I haven't let Ellie on my book. I have some corrections written into mine, but if a fingering doesn't make sense, ignore it. There's a few places she wants you to stay on a same string. I forget in this one if it is.
I like this one. It sounds like the Grinch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So overall, it's good. It sounds like you could still use some more rosin. I think it just sounds like it's slipping on you a little bit because you're leaning in, but it's still, especially the A and the E string, are just a little slippy. So.
Yeah.
What happens if you just move down an inch? And lean in even a little more? That's better. So, okay, the A string is good now. The E string is still slipping on you. Use even slower bow. There. That's the kind of core quality I want to hear when you get to that. Even if you're crossing over, I want to hear that right away. So it might be a little more weight. It might be just slowing down the bow ever so slightly. Something in that range. It's good. Cool. All right. Let's go on to number 6 for next time. With any of these, you could spend more time doing them to really, but I don't want you to completely pull your hair out now. I just want to make sure that the concepts are clear and that you're able to generally get them out. What is 6? Same technical ideas as that. Placement of the bow. In the middle. What did she say? Oh, okay.
Also, like.
So I was also confused on this if she wanted you to do the exercise twice or if she just wants you to feel the difference.
This is like I was like, do I do the whole thing once here, then once here, then once here? Like, is that what
No, this is just, that's what I used to think, but then I realized she's just saying this is the definition of what placement means. So I think this is just being aware of where your placement is. This one is just to get you to feel the difference between the frog in the middle, and then I think when you're actually doing the exercise, just keep it wherever it feels comfortable, but it's just be aware of placement. Don't just be on autopilot, but like, just sort of have a general awareness of where you are. This is number 6. Okay.
Number 6 for this one. Should I do a little bit of it now, or?
No, we're fine. Or you could do the prep if you just want to check it out. So where would you say that was where were you in the bow right now?
For like the middle.
Okay, so where would frog be? Yeah, is this a plan? Yeah, the middle might be just a little closer in. So if that's frog, go ahead. Yeah, if that's frog-ish area, so about an inch out. Yeah, and then middle. Yeah, the middle. Yeah, more like that.
Cool.
So just keep core tone. Oh, I wish they turned the air on.
For number 6.
Okay.
So now the Vance.
Yeah, get the Vance on. We're just gonna get a simple one. I'll get it out. Still nothing for this thing. I hear something up there, but there's no air clearly coming out.
Is it some like
I
construction?
don't know. Well, the other rooms around here seem like they have it. This bass, which was in the other studio where the air was, is completely out of tune this morning, which used to happen every week. Even though, the thing is that I told you when I came here after a year and a half, and it was perfectly in tune.
That's so funny.
And now, today it was like a almost quarter step out.
That's
No idea. It's the humidity, I think. It's gotten so dry. All right. So, review begin lead, and then hut.
And then,
So, which ones did you end up doing?
yeah, a little bit of begin lead reviewing, and then
Hatikvah. I think it's.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
1.5 position.
All right. Any questions on the vegan lead? When did you play through that one? It's short enough.
Oh yeah, those harmonics and stuff.
A little higher.
That was very flat.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were singing this, like as a beautiful melody, how would you sing it? I know with the mask it's a pain, but can you just give me a measure?
From the beginning.
Yeah, or you can change the key if you want. Yeah. Can you match that kind of lyricism when you're actually playing on the bass? Both that lyricism and also imagine getting that lyricism out a little further. So not just you in the music stand, but at least this room. even though it's piano, but it's piano, solo piano. So see if you can still, as if there were people throughout this room you wanted to hear it.
And yeah, I was trying to avoid like that.
Yeah. just let the whole thing be a little more resonant. but the slur. There you go. That's the idea, yeah. And on the bass, if you're singing, your support tends to come from here. For the bass, it tends to come from the right hand. So, yoda, especially here, yoda, you almost have to lean in, yoda, all the way through the bow. And even when you go into that uncomfortable thing on the A string, the da 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 da, if like, I feel like you need to lean in a little more in that because it's just need a little more support, not volume but support. Yeah. Those notes should just feel like you're just holding them up. They're comfortable. Even if it's soft, they still have that support under them. Only other thing on here is I think you can make the grace notes even faster. Bum, ba-da-da-da.
Make that C again too.
There you go.
That's only what happens.
Yeah. Okay. And then last two measures. Remembering where those are. So remember the bottom note is the string and the top note is where you touch it. So on the G string, oh, yep. Yeah, just he has you starting with an up bow, so you end on a down bow. But other than that, yep. Okay, so that's a possible one we could have in the lineup for the divisional.
Okay.
You are playing divisionals, right? Because you're
no, just a jury.
You're not. But aren't you? You're second year, right?
Yeah.
I thought.
You would know better than me. Should I be playing?
I think you might need to because I thought it's only freshmen who don't play. So I think you need to play divisional in whichever area you're studying. Can you check with Shirley about that?
Yeah.
It's not till next month, so we got.
Okay, so it's next month.
Yeah, it's November.
Cool.
Beginning of November though, so we want to just like I would have 2 or 3 of these, maybe that we'll pick for divisional, probably 2, maybe one a little bit faster, one a little bit slower, and hopefully with piano. So we'll also have to figure that out too. But yeah, check with Shirley because I want to make sure you're set for that. All right. Hatikvah. Hatikvah. Okay, good intonation, good hand positions. 2 things. One is every time you have the separate 8th notes, make them as legatos. Right now you're sort of going I would make them just da 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 as detache as possible. La la la. So measure 13 for instance. Da 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 da. I just say that. Yeah. So da 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 da. That's it. Yeah. Okay, good. Now, how big can you do measure 8? How big and resonant, like how much can you get out of that bass without it sounding crass? That's like a 7 out of 10. Could you give me even more?
Okay.
Move down a little further if you need to. Good. So what I like now is your tone's actually on the edge of breaking. So that means we're getting closer to your edge. We maybe made it to an 8. So if it breaks like that, use a slightly slower bow on the low string. So try that first. Dom. There you go. Try even louder. All right, it took it. Now let me hear the top note. What do you have to do there? So maybe a little more bow speed and a little more weight. Try a little closer to the bridge, just an inch closer. Maybe not, back it off a little bit. But keep your weight in, keep as much weight. How much weight can you add till it crunches on you? It only crunched because you went a little bit too fast for that weight. Alright, so we're in an 8.5 territory now.
Okay.
So, that, I mean, it's not fortissimo, but I just want to, we want to find these dynamics as early as possible so that when you see forte, you just, again, it's about resonance as much as volume. Now that one, that's a little too much for it here because of the wolf, so see if I finger the A, I can play that loud. That's just because it's the wolf again. Piano. So just see how far you can get it while still keeping the character of the piece. So I just like fortes to feel just big and resonant and wide and, if possible, joyful when it's work. But it's this kind of feeling like you're just sharing with it. You have this great sound, you just want to share it with everybody, and it's just coming out. So your bow speed was a little too fast for the first one. There you go. That's it. Just that small change kept it in focus. That was great. The G string felt like it was just on the edge. What would you have to do to just feel like you were supporting it a little more? I don't know if hair less weight or a little more bow speed. A little more bow speed. There you go. Just a little more bow speed, and then it seemed like it was happy. It wasn't. You don't want it to feel like it's cringing. All right. So those are the kinds of dynamics we're going to be going for. And what's nice about these is they're simple enough where you can think about that without having to think about 12 other things at the same time. And you said you did take a look at 12?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Just go for it.
Same tempo as your scales. It's funny, I usually use the tap to find my scales in the morning, and some days I'm at like 68, and some days I'm at 52. I always think it reflects on my mood. Man, I'm just dragging today. It's like 52. I got find 60, find 60. About using parts of your hand to find that position, where you just drop your hand and so in that one it's going to be what, crook of the neck, the side of the thumb against the crook of the neck. Does that get you there, or is that
E flat for me.
Oh, it's an E flat neck. So it's gonna. Is there anything you can use to find it?
Still pretty flat.
So even if your thumb is against, once your thumb gets to the edge, then it becomes an E flat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we usually don't go for an E flat
Yeah,
next.
it's an E flat.
All right. Well, you just have to measure that one. Yep. There you go. Let's see. I mean, this is just another situation where you can push those dynamics a little more.
Yeah.
But it's also the awareness of, then you have to be aware of what doesn't work. So for instance, measure 14. Can you play that again? But as you do the eighth notes especially, make sure your bow speed doesn't get too fast. But see if you can make it just this really big. Could you do even more on the G string? Yeah, on the little higher too. This part. There you go. Yeah. So, and again, as long as you don't feel like you're clenching or anything, it's just going, leaning in more, supporting it, finding the right weight and speed. So right there, your bow speed was a little too much. It started wiping out on you. So just make it a little slower, but don't take off the weight. Just go from that second measure. That was even better, yeah. There, so you kept your focus, but you had the volume. That's good. So for this next week, why don't you do the second one, which is the same thing, just an octave up. So you'll be playing a little closer to the bridge, but just notice what you have to do to get the same sort of forte, and I guess mezzo piano is the other side of that.
So this is page 13?
Yeah, page 13. So for next time, do that. Between the scales, the bowings, and 13, do you think that's enough for now, or do you want one more piece?
I think that's enough for now.
Yeah, just considering what you're
Yeah,
juggling.
I think that's enough.
But let's just keep our goals realistic.
So,
good. All right.
Yeah, scales, McCormick 6, and this 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'm gonna email Shirley about the divisional.
Yes. If you'd been studying with me from the beginning, you definitely would do one, but I don't. It's sort of a little different.
Yeah, I'll email her.
Okay. And then hopefully this works out better with quality. We'll find out.
I'm sure it will.